Hi, this is a short film. The remnants of humanity are fighting an unequal battle with alien invaders capable of enslaving people.
They erect giant structures that create their atmosphere.
The action of the film begins in the near future, on the sandy expanses of Texas. In the light of burning flags, the remnants of humanity huddle in captivity of alien reptilians. The aliens use the captives as slaves, whipping up a universal space tool, a whip. They are herded into special nurseries, where prisoners are made into live incubators for the glory of xenomorphs. And they also conduct experiments on laboratory mice. Since the beginning of the intervention, Earth's cities have been abandoned. Time and nature absorb them with the relentlessness of ocean waves licking the shore. The Eiffel Tower is rusting without the greedy eyes of tourists. Where nature does not resist fast enough, alien technologies bring pinpoint destruction. In place of the destroyed houses, the aliens are erecting thermorphic black towers that adapt the atmosphere for the new owners of the planet. Climate change leads to floods, destruction of forests. The composition of the air is changing so that it is increasingly difficult for people to breathe. Flora and fauna are slowly dying. In addition to direct confrontation, reptilians are trained to subdue the consciousness of people. They controlled the cerebral and lymphatic systems, akin to a boa constrictor hypnotizing banderlogs and forcing them to do what was ordered. The survivors managed to invent a brain blocker that allows them to resist control, but there are not enough devices for all. The last pockets of resistance huddle in underground bunkers, ready to repel the invaders, led by Jasper, a woman who knows a lot about opposing alien creatures. Despite the defeatist mood, the resistance does what it was named after. Resists. The aliens use captured politicians to open their skulls, probe them in the wrong place and use them as propaganda mouthpieces. Like, "Give up, reptilians will help everyone." During one such campaign outing, a captured politician is led through the streets by an alien guard. A suicide bomber girl, hung with explosives, pretends that she bought into false promises and wants to surrender to blessed captivity. But the outsiders, having seen through the deception, annihilated her from a safe distance, not suspecting that this was all part of the plan. Distraction. The real bomb is laid under your feet. The blow of retribution does not keep you waiting. Alien aircraft attack rebel transport, nullifying all military successes. A wounded fighter prefers to put a bullet in his head so as not to get into inhumane experiments. However, suddenly the situation changes with the appearance of another alien race, translucent beings similar to angels, in which the exhausted, hopeless remnants of humanity see salvation. The story switches to a burden, a dead pyromaniac and an explosive technician who blew up on mini-aliens. He climbs around the landfill in search of the necessary spare parts to collect useful devices from scrap metal, homemade bombs and throwing blockers. Jasper buys the received items from him for his fighters. But Nosh alone is not able to meet all the demand on the market, so there are not enough helmets catastrophically. In addition, a post-apocalyptic lefty sculpts a secret device in his workshop, which categorically refuses to sell. Jasper offers him a good price, but they have nothing to offer the pyromaniac. He does not even want to return to the past way in which he was considered mentally abnormal and socially dangerous trash. However, the resistance has something it needs: bait. He asks to bring some unnecessary person, a guilty criminal, an old man or a sick person to use him as bait, like a suicide bomber girl on the street earlier. Jasper's companion doesn't like the idea. A man in a fit of humanistic feelings pulls out a gun and points it at the inventor. Calculating the chances of victory, the leader of the militants estimates who can be given in exchange for the device and whether barter will help win an almost lost war. In the bunker, attention turns to Amir, a man picked up by the partisans with a bunch of implants in his body. He escaped from the aliens who were experimenting on him. Despite the fact that ordinary fighters are afraid of Amir and are being held at gunpoint, considering him a brainwashed Cossack, Jasper addresses him as an equal. The woman says that he can help him in an unequal struggle. She removes the handcuffs from him, contrary to the fears of colleagues in the difficult guerrilla business. The girl Sarah comes next to feed the former prisoner, and also ask for a favor. She removes the hood from his head and sees that the mechanisms are integrated into living flesh with the help of alien technologies, a moving black liquid, which is a nanomaterial. In the next scene, the resistance squad prepares for battle by practicing shooting with assault rifles. Sarah explains to Amir that they are preparing for a battle with the aliens who did this to him. To the questions of his subordinates, Jasper explains that after the death of her daughter, Sarah is looking for ways to take revenge on the interventionists and found one in the modified face of Amir, who, in her opinion, having survived the alien experience, has unusual abilities. Silently listening to Sarah's speech, Amir looks at nothing in front of him. But in a chipped head, chaotic and disparate images add up to a vision of the future. The inner Nostradamus shows the hero that the militants are going on a combat mission together with Jasper. On a dusty street of a deserted city there is contact with the enemy. The shooters open fire on multiple aerial targets, which do not seem to notice them at all. However, one aircraft manages to knock out. The alien falls nearby. The observers transmit its coordinates to the rest of the squad. The column of equipment is being moved to the address. Jasper gives the last instructions before catching live bait. Check the blockers and do not look the reptilian in the eyes. The wounded alien gets out of the plane and runs away, sensing with his cosmic ass that the embittered locals are not taking him a cake. The soldiers move behind the stranger, cautiously shooting at the chitinous carcass. The alien, enhanced by the threads, uses a forbidden technique, telekinesis. He knocks the blocker off the head of one of the pursuers and hypnotizes with his reptilian will. Obeying a mental order, the soldier raises his machine gun and shoots at his comrades, forcing them to return fire to defeat. The vision of the world is superimposed on the words of Sarah that millions die in monstrous experiments, and only a few survive, like him. The man's pupils slowly dissolve into the whites of his eyes, while the future reveals its secrets to him. Alien experiments, mountains of bones, burning bodies. The vision switches to the hunt for the pilot. He is driven, wounded and beheaded according to the old tradition. There should be only one left. The soldier raises the head of the interventionist with his mouth open limply and his tongue hanging down, as a symbol that the resistance can kill a technically more equipped invader, which means there is a chance to win the war. This is where the film ends.